Welcome to Doors to Hope and Healing, an inside look at the many facets of work that is happening at the Department of Children and Families, between our staff, the families we serve, and our community partners. My name is Jacqueline Ford. I have had the honor of working for the department for almost 30 years. And although I may be familiar with many of the topics we bring to you, I have invited experts in those fields to help us dispel the myths and misconceptions that can often be barriers to our work. Join us as we open our doors and invite you to have a seat at our table. Nicole and Ellie, thank you both so much for being on Doors to Hope and Healing. It is an honor to have you here. The Kid Governor program over the past several years has been something that's been very near and dear to my heart and to the heart of the Department of Children and Families, because we have found so many ways to work together with your Kid Governors on the various platforms that they've had. And although the Kid Governor has been on our show before, it's only been to talk about the program. We've never actually had the Kid Governor on. So this is a big day for all of us. So thank you both for being here. Nicole, can you talk about yourself a little bit and how long you've been with the Kid Governor program?
Absolutely. So my name is Nicole Petrozello. I've been with the Kid Governor program for about 9 months now. And my title is the state coordinator for Connecticut's Kid Governor. So I'm in charge of Connecticut's branch of Kid Governor, but we have branches in 4 other states, including New Hampshire, Oklahoma, Oregon, and Georgia.
So tell us, what is the Kid Governor program for our viewers that may not be familiar with Connecticut having its very own Kid Governor?
Yeah, the Kid Governor program is a civics education program for 5th graders, and the center of the program is a real election for a Kid Governor. And so it's done in classrooms. Teachers lead their students through the process of voting and maybe even nominating a Kid Governor. And the statewide election is in November every year. And once elected, the Kid Governor serves a 1-year term of student leadership, and the 6 runners up become the Kid Governor's cabinet.
Wow, and how many years has the Kid Governor program been?
Ellie's our 8th Kid Governor, so we've been going about 8 years, and it's really lovely to see all the kids grow and make a difference in their communities.
So why is it so important to have a Kid Governor in any state?
That's a good question. I think that there's so many reasons why it's important to have a Kid Governor, and the most important one is to teach kids that no matter how old you are, you can make a difference. So for example, Ellie's really making a difference in our state this year on mental health, and kids across Connecticut are inspired to make change in their own communities too.
Well, thank you. So Ellie, tell us about yourself.
I'm Ellie Mendez. I am from Monroe, and I go to Monroe Elementary School. I have an amazing support system, especially my mom and my dad, my amazing dog Dino, and my amazing 5-year-old brother, who can be a bit of a handful, but I still love him. And I'm a very, very competitive gymnast, so I do competitive gymnastics.
You do. And what grade are you in?
I'm in 5th grade.
You're in 5th grade. So you are a Kid Governor for 1 whole year. And you ran, when you decided that you wanted to run on, for Kid Governor, did you know right away what your platform would be?
Yes, because I really wanted something that I could really make a difference, and anxiety just popped in my head because I've had it all my entire life.
You have. Well, I want to hear more about your anxiety, but let's go back a little bit. So how did you first hear about the Kid Governor program? How did you even know that there was a chance that you could possibly fill the seat of Kid Governor for this year?
So in my classroom, all the 5th grade classrooms, we got a brochure, a paper saying about Kid Governor. And I really had no idea what it was. So I went home that day and I searched up Kid Governor. And as I researched more and more, I got so fascinated by all the other Kid Governors. And it said that you had to make a platform. And right away, I knew that I wanted to do anxiety and depression. But that's not all. I had to make a 3-point action plan, which I will tell you more about.
Okay.
And I really had to understand most of it. So as I researched through and through, I really wanted to do it, and I really wanted to make a difference, and I really wanted to have a voice, and I really wanted to be heard.
So did you tell your mom that your mom and your dad, that there's this program that I could, do, that the school, shared with me? Is that how you started the whole conversation?
Yes. So at first my parents thought I was just kid governor for the school. But when they actually read the paper, they were really surprised that I'd be the kid governor of Connecticut.
That's a big deal. Isn't that a big deal? That's wonderful. So you decided to kind of throw your hat in the ring.
Yes.
And you had to tell your teacher. Is that how did you get started with, you knew the platform that you wanted to talk about and make a difference on. You knew that you had to be creative in this 3-point plan that you were going to have. But what was the first steps? What did you first have to do?
So as soon as I filled out the paper with all the questions and everything there, I had to get permission from my teachers and from the principal of my school. Then I had to make a little mini, but I forgot what it's called, a presentation. And it was called the primary. So I had to make a whole presentation about why I wanted to be kid governor, how I was going to do it, my platform, how to help my platform, and all of that fun stuff. So I won the primary, and as soon as I won that, I had to make a campaign video for all of the 5th graders out there to vote. So as soon as I voted, I got all into the 48 contestants. Now by then, 9,400 students in Connecticut had to vote, and it was really fun, so I got into the top 7. Now the top 7 is the best you can get. Already then, I knew I had the courage and hope, and I was so proud of myself. So then all the 5th graders voted me and my platform to be the 2023 Connecticut's Kid Governor.
What an honor. That's a huge accomplishment. So I have the honor of being on the judging panel for the Kid Governor, and I was so impressed by your video. And I was so glad that you had made it to the place that you had made it so that the whole entire state could learn more about you. So the primary that you were a part of, what was that process like? Who did you run against in the primary?
Well, I run against one person in my school. And basically, all the 5th graders would sit in a classroom and listen to us. And we had many little slots. So as soon as we finished our presentations, everyone would write down who they wanted to vote for. And I could also vote too. And by 2 votes, I won.
Oh, so it was a close race.
Yes, it was very close.
Race. So when you became the top 7, that magical number, did you know that you'd be a part of the cabinet if you didn't get Kid Governor?
Yes, so the top 6 finalists who weren't Kid Governor, that doesn't mean that they're just gone. It means that they get to also still work on their platforms and they get to help mine. So it's my cabinet.
So this is your cabinet that you're working with. So is it difficult to be a Kid Governor?
Not necessarily. There are a lot of long speeches, like Miss Piccizello definitely knows what I am talking about. It's not mostly super difficult, but sometimes you have to have the responsibility to do things. You have to be in place. I mean by you have to be in place by you have to be honest, you have to be responsible, you have to be caring, and you have to actually want it. Like you have to have the courage to do things like that.
And the follow through is really important too, right? We can have ideas and plans, but to actually make them come to fruition is difficult. But you have such a support system at the Kid Governor's office with Nicole and Brian, which has been wonderful. So now let's talk about your platform. So you said you snapped and you said you knew right away about anxiety. And as we know, mental health issues for our youth is such an important topic for us to have awareness on and for us to impact and make a difference on. And I think that you are so courageous for sharing that you not only have an interest in mental health and anxiety, but that you've suffered from anxiety for many years. So tell me about your platform. What is it that you hope that you can impact during this term where you're governor of Connecticut?
So my platform is anxiety and depression, and I really want to focus on kids learning how to cope with that. It took me 3 years, and I don't want kids to go to the same passed through experiences that I have. One point from my dogs dying, my grandpa dying, my sister abandoning me, it was not the best experience. But I had such a great support system, and I want other kids to have that good support system, because I have learned that people don't take anxiety and depression as serious as they should, especially parents, because my parents back in the day, they just said like, oh, my parents bathe me, feed me, clothe me. What can possibly go wrong? So I feel like that stuck in their heads since they had a child, and think that their child has nothing wrong with them because they didn't have any wrong with them. But nowadays, especially since COVID happened, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, people are trying to be something that they're not, and especially kids. And I don't want kids to put themselves out there to feel like they have to be something that they're not.
Well, it's true that kids these days, it's difficult to be a kid these days because all of these social media platforms make you grow up in a glass bubble where everyone knows what you're doing, where you're at, and your whole life is chronicled for others. So I can imagine how difficult that is for youth. I have 2 daughters myself, and I know that it's challenging and it's different than the way that I was born and raised. But these are the new times, and these are the things that we have to deal with and manage. So what do you hope to do to change that narrative, to have people understand mental health more for youth, such as yourself?
So I did host a virtual education program with 3 mental health experts, Dr. Bozak, Dr. Noel Cassiano, and Dr. El Volta. So I basically interviewed them, and I asked them questions about what is mental health, and if I'm home, what do I do if I have anxiety, or what if I'm in school and I have anxiety? And I feel like once kids really understand what mental health is, instead of just feeling like you have it forever, one of the questions I asked is mental health a short-term or a long-term? And all of them said that it's short-term. Most of it is short-term, but it's never not going to go away. And I feel like that's what kids need to hear, because a lot of kids just feel like that's it, like I have it and there's nothing I can do about it.
Is it managing the anxiety, what you're trying to educate people on, understanding that it may not go away, but it's short term, but learning to cope with those anxiety problems?
Yes, I feel like a lot of kids have anxiety and depression, especially now. And I feel like, yes.
Well, you're doing amazing work. So now you have a cabinet, right, that supports your work, and your cabinet members are working on their own platforms. So what is your role with the cabinet? Do you have responsibilities with the cabinet members?
So we meet monthly in my office at the old State House in Hartford, and we talk about our platforms and how we can help each other. I help them and they help me. They have been coming up with some ideas and questions for me to ask a psychologist that I'm going to meet on Zoom, as Ms. Piccizello knows. And they came up with really great ideas. One of my cabinet members, Scarlett, has a trash walk. She's doing littering. And to see that, that's a big accomplishment, not only for her, but for everyone. They did a town trash walk. And it's just really exciting to see my cabinet. They're super kind, super caring, and I really like my cabinet members.
What are some of the other topics that their platforms are besides the trash walk?
So Aaron is food insecurity, Jacob is bullying, Liliana is literacy, Scarlett is trash, and Sean is valuing the elderly.
Wow.
And Maxon,
yes, that's okay,
is cyberbullying.
Those are such important topics, and understanding all of those community issues that affect so many of us, and having the voice of a young person kind of navigating that way for us is so impressive. And you are an absolute delight. So Nicole, how do you work with Ellie and the cabinet? What is your role in working with all of them?
Yeah, I'm there to support them however I can and highlight their community issues and the work they're doing. So for example, like Ellie mentioned before, I'm working with her to coordinate coordinate these interviews and discussions with different psychologists and mental health experts from our state. Ellie mentioned Scarlett's Trash Walk that's coming up it's might have passed by the time this airs, but it's in coinciding with Earth Day. And so I helped her and her teacher organize it, and I'm going to try to be there to support her. And I'm working with the other cabinet members too, coordinating with their parents and their schools to help make progress on their platform points as well. And I'm also helping the teachers to teach the lessons and engage their students, even if they don't have a student on the Kid Governor's cabinet or a student who is the Kid Governor. And yeah, I'm there to support the great work the kids are doing because they're the leaders and I'm just there to help.
Yeah, they are absolutely our future. So how do you engage the school systems to either participate in running for Kid Governor or, using the tools and resources that our Kid Governors are producing for all of the schools to have access to? What is your connection to the school systems?
That's a good question. So our program is basically a curriculum that helps teachers guide students through the process of running for Kid Governor and learning about different civic skills, like how elections work, what the government is like, the 3 branches of government, and then what does it mean to be a leader? How do you choose an issue that's important to you and develop a platform based on all the research like Ellie was speaking about earlier? So that is one of the main ways we collaborate with teachers in Connecticut. But there are other avenues too to use our resources if you're not a 5th grade teacher. For example, we have a student action resource center that's part of the National Kid Governor program, where kids, no matter how old they are, can go for tips on what to do if they have a community issue that they're passionate about and want to make a difference. So we encourage kids, even if they're not directly involved with Kid Governor, to get out there and practice civics and make a change.
Well, I imagine that being Kid Governor is exciting and it's an honor, but it must come with a lot of responsibilities, right? Even being here on our show today, you're taking time out of your day and gymnastics and school to be here to make a difference. So just share with us what some of your responsibilities are.
To mostly complete my platform. So I have a tap out light station. And it's basically a station in a classroom where you get to, if you're feeling stressed out or some sort of stress that is not allowing you to concentrate in class, you can just get up, go to the tap out light station, tap the light red, indicating that you need a moment right now, flip the sand timer, connect headphones to like an old mini MP3 player, listen to music for 3 minutes. By sure then you will definitely calm down, take the headphones off, and tap the light green, indicating that you've reset and you can go back to what you're doing. And that's in 7 classrooms, and people have actually been using them, and that's amazing for me. And to just see that, that's like an incredible accomplishment. And also the Turn My Frown Upside Down mailbox. So if kids are too embarrassed or maybe a little stressed out to go to the tap out light station, they can write their feelings down. It can be anonymous or they can put their name, and they'll slip it into the mailbox at any time during the school day. And at the end of the day, the teacher will check if there is any messages, and if so, I'm surely that the teacher will pay close attention if the student wrote it anonymously, or if they did write their name, I'm sure they will talk to them tomorrow, the day after.
That's wonderful. Oh my gosh. And you're actually seeing the tap out lights are being implemented in the classrooms in your school. And do you know if any of the other schools are using it, or is that part of your platform to create that awareness so that other schools will learn of this idea and possibly do that?
Yes. So it's only in my school right now. My goal is to get it in at least 10 schools in Connecticut, which I know it is a big goal, but I definitely know that I can reach it.
Oh, I have no doubt that you're going to reach more than 10 schools. If not this year, it's something that I believe can be learned as the years pass, because it's that timeout corner in such a creative way that is, and it's courageous because like you said, if a child's not courageous to touch the light and take that time, they can use the mailbox. But how courageous it is for those kids who are normalizing anxiety. because we're all anxious. It's just what we do with that anxious anxiety, right? I mean, I've had moments of being anxious. I'm sure that many of our viewers have also had those moments of being anxious, and you're starting those really difficult conversations, and I think it's wonderful. So I know that I'm honored that I'll be able to work with you on the upcoming poster contest that you're having, and I think that our show, Doors to Hope and Healing, is a great opportunity for you to talk about this upcoming poster contest and what you hope to accomplish with that. So can you tell us about the poster contest?
Yes. So 5th grade students have a whole month to make a poster, and they have to answer this question. What is an uplifting or inspiring message that you can send to the kids out there who have anxiety or depression? And me and my cabinet members will be the judge, and we will pick out the best that we think of the poster contest. And it will be featured on my Digital Mental Health Hub.
Oh, so tell me about that. What's the Digital Mental Health Hub?
So I'm going to create a digital mental health hub with uplifting messages and interactive resources to inspire kids to learn how to cope with big feelings like anxiety and depression, basically mental health. And I really hope that it will teach kids at any age, I think like 5 or up, to really learn how to cope with those feelings. I have a big mechanism. If I can't go anywhere, if I'm in school or if I'm in home doing homework and I'm really stressed out, I'll rub my hands together and it'll feel really warm, and then I'll cup them over my ears, and it feels like I'm at the beach.
Wow.
And I love the beach. So for me to really be like that and really understand how to calm yourself down, I really hope that my Digital Mental Health Hub will do the same.
Oh, I have no doubt it's going to do the same. So what's exciting about your poster contest is that the Department of Children and Families at Solnit, which is our psychiatric hospital facility, our mental health facility for youth, we're going to be using a lot of that artwork that's been created through your poster contest to display on the walls so that our children, our youth that are in the hospital and are dealing with mental health issues can see these inspirational messages on the wall, and they find hope and encouragement in that too. So your message and your platform is very far reaching, and I have absolutely no doubt that you're going to be successful. You're beautiful and you're kind and you're smart. And do you know what you want to be when you get older?
Yes,
What do you
I actually want to be 2 things. A chief human resource officer of a multi-trillion-dollar company.
Wow.
And a famous gymnast, and my dream is to be Simone Biles.
Okay, well, maybe you'll get to meet her and be successful. And, in a line of work that you're thinking of being a part of, there's a high stress level and anxiety, I'm sure. So if you can completely understand how to manage that, you're going to be successful, and all of the employees that you're over and you're managing are going to be equally as successful.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you both for being on Doors to Hope and Healing. You're one to watch. I can't wait to see where this whole opportunity takes you and the differences that you make. So thank you both for being on the show. For any of our viewers that are watching, if they have a 5th grader who's interested in being a part of this contest, how can they get involved?
That's a great question. Our website, our Kid Governor website, has all the information you need, and it's also a good place to follow Ellie's work if you'd like to do that. It is ct.kidgovernor.org, and that has all the information about the poster contest, the rules and entry form, and contact information for our office.
Okay, wonderful. And we'll have that email. Is there an email too that someone can access?
Yeah, definitely. My email is the contact information listed. It's my name. It's nicole.pitzzello@ct.kidgovernor.org. It's a mouthful, but it's my first and last name at ct.kidgovernor.org.
That's great. And those are great ways to follow your platform, to see the work of kid governors who have come before you, who have obviously inspired you. And we can have more submissions for this poster contest and more to choose from. Again, thank you both for being on the show. Thank you for watching Doors to Hope and Healing. Now stay tuned for Ellie's campaign video that she ran on and got her elected to this seat that she holds. Thank you for watching.
Hi, 5th graders of Connecticut. I'm Ellie, and I want to be your next kid governor. My platform is anxiety and depression. People don't take anxiety and depression for kids as serious as they should. Let me tell you a little secret about myself. I, too, have been learning how to cope with anxiety and depression. Did you know that 5.6 million kids are diagnosed with anxiety and 4.2 million kids are diagnosed with depression? This is a real community issue. 34.5% of kids were suffering from anxiety and depression. When? During and after the pandemic. Did you know that 1 in 5 students have a mental disorder? Can you imagine? And only 20% of those kids receive care from a professional. And they need our support now. My action plan has 3 amazing platforms. First is a Tap Out Light Station. This is one of my favorites, and I think it will really help students of all ages in their classrooms from stress, anxiety, or forms of sadness that is not allowing them to concentrate. With the Tap Out Light Station, this will allow the students to excuse themselves and walk over to the light station. He or she will then press the light on it and it will turn red. This will alert the classroom and teacher that, hey, the student is having a moment right now. They will put on the headphones and play pre-programmed Zen music for 3 minutes. When the time is up, the students can get up, turn the light green, indicating that they have reset and can go back to participating in the class. My second amazing platform that I'm going to share with you today, I have created Turn My Frown Upside Down mailbox to help kids with depression and don't know how to share these feelings with anyone. This mailbox will help kids who don't have a voice and want to be heard. When a student feels they need to ask for help and don't know how, they will be able to write down those feelings, thoughts, or concerns and walk over to the mailbox and put it in. The teacher will then check the mailbox and take an action as needed. My third platform is an interactive website that will allow kids to watch videos, read uplifting articles, and positive quotes. It's okay to have a bad day, make mistakes, take a break. You are stronger than you think you are. How will I get there as your leader? I'm honest. I'm driven for change. And last, and my favorite, teamwork. If we all work together, we can help and stop anxiety and depression today.
Vote for Ellie for Kid Governor.
Sometimes life just happens. Don't worry. Farmington Motorsports will get you back on the road and at a fair price. From towing to tires, emissions to transmissions.
Our ASC certified techs do it all.
Farmington Motorsports is a family-run business. We're a Napa Auto Center and AAA approved. We work on all makes and models from preventative maintenance to major repairs.
And every repair is backed by our 2-year, 24,000-mile nationwide warranty.
When life happens to you, don't worry. Farmington Motorsports.